pray together again. We ask for your blessing as we read your word, O God. Make the words alive with your Spirit and our hearts open vessels to your truth. Amen. Our first reading this morning comes from Psalm 2. Why do the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and the Anointed, saying, "Let us burst their bonds asunder and cast their cords from us." He who sits in the heavens laughs. The Lord has them in derision. Then the Lord will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in her fury, saying, "I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of the decree of the Lord. The Lord said to me, 'You are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage, and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron, and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.' Now therefore, O kings, be wise. Be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear. With trembling kiss his feet, or she will be angry, and you will perish in the way. For the Lord's wrath is quickly kindled. Happy are all who take refuge in the Lord." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
We turn to our second reading. Matthew has described how Jesus has been healing and teaching, and he's run into opposition from the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And then he'd asked the disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" And he gets a variety of responses, but then Peter, of course, the one who is willing to say just about anything, says, "Why, you are the Messiah, the Son of God." And Jesus says, "Tell no one of this." And then we pick up this reading. 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and James and his brother John and led them up a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became dazzling white. Suddenly there appeared to them Moses and Elijah talking with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will make 3 dwellings here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." And while he was still speaking, suddenly a bright cloud overshadowed them. And from the cloud a voice said, "This is my Son, the Beloved. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard this, they fell to the ground and were overcome by fear. But Jesus came and touched them, saying, "Get up, and do not be afraid." And when they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus himself alone. As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus ordered them, "Tell no one about the vision until after the Son of Man has been raised from the dead." This is the word of the Lord.